everybody, welcome back to the 31 Days of Horror. I am your host, Moon616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yes, Day 7 is here of the 31 Days of Horror Volume 3. And yes, we have got a film released by Intervision here that I've been wanting to see for many, many years. Now, I never really thought this film would actually get a legitimate release because it has a history. This is a film from the UK that was produced in 1983, and of course, when it was submitted to the BBFC, they basically kind of shit on this one. It ended up getting a release, a very minor release. It suffered from distribution issues and stuff, and it eventually got released cut. Releasing this film cut is probably not a great idea, so I think it basically fell into obscurity. I'm not even sure it ever had a Region 1 release at all, and I've always known about this one because I'm a big Shot on Video fan, and I've always wanted to check this one out. It's one I've never seen before, so I was very excited when Intervision announced this one. Intervision, and it's called Suffer Little Children. Look at that cover art right there. It's fantastic. So, yeah, this one had me real stoked, man. So, basically what the synopsis of this one is, it basically follows this girl named Elizabeth. She is kind of dropped off at this, in a sense, kind of a group home or a housing for, where they kind of foster kids and things like that, with a note attached to her saying, "My name is Elizabeth, I can't talk, I'm a mute, and can you please look after me?" So of course they take her into the house. Soon after taking in Elizabeth, there's some certain events that happen around the house, and then more events happen, and then some carnage. So that's basically what the synopsis of the film is. My thoughts on this film right here? Yes, first of all, it is a shot on video film, like I said before. So this one is going to have all your kind of regular shot on video specs to it. It's not really going to look that great. The sound is a little bit tough. I actually had to watch this film with the subtitles on, which was actually pretty damn cool that this movie even had the subtitles. But I guess it was kind of needed considering, the music was a little bit too loud for the dialogue scenes and things like that. But so basically what we have here, we have Elizabeth, who essentially is possessed by the devil. And her goal is to change all the kids in the house into her slaves, and she kind of makes the kids work for her, and they end up doing her deeds, like hurting the other kids and things like that. This movie starts out really good. There's a couple incidences that happen with Elizabeth. There's actually a really interesting scene, which I wish they had have actually done a little bit more of, where Elizabeth kind of gets into all the kids' heads. And they have this dream about these zombies coming out of this house and out of this ground and things like that. And I really loved that scene. I thought it was fantastic. Kind of a shout out to Lucio Fulci in Zombie, the film Zombie, with, the zombies actually coming out of the ground and things like that. So it had a very promising beginning. The middle is where this film falters. It's about 35 or 40 minutes of just a lot of dialogue and real heavy dialogue, but not interesting stuff that's going on. You got a relationship between Mick and Jenny. Mick was actually once lived in that house. He's come back. He's kind of with this Jenny girl a little bit and stuff. And so they're kind of following their relationship a little bit. A little bit of events happen, but then where this film really picks up is the last 20 minutes. That's where all the demonic possession and all the carnage and all the blood and gore and things like that happen in this film. And I can actually see why the BBFC, took a look at this film and said, "Hey man, we got to cut some material out of here," because it is dealing with some sensitive issues. I mean, we have a little girl named Elizabeth who's possessed by the devil, who's essentially getting other kids to kill kids. It's kids being killed in this film, so I can see the sensitivity in the subject matter. But yeah, the third act is really where this one excels. It's actually pretty cool. There's actually some pretty cool filming going on and stuff. It's very kind of cheesy and things like that, but I think it worked for what it was. It's kind of nasty, I mean, watching kids get killed by other kids and things like that that's taboo subject matter that you always kind of go, okay, that's pretty cool. But yeah, this one right here was actually pretty fun overall. I think the last 20 minutes make you forget the previous 40 minutes that were kind of stale and boring, not a whole lot going on and stuff. I did really like the scenes where Elizabeth showed up in this, because it would have this really cheesy kind of ominous score through the whole thing. I think some of this film was filmed without sound, so they just kind of put that score there. And but when she would show up, it would play like this hard metal and things like that. It was just like, yeah. And I have to say, man, I was shocked that the scene, or the cover art on here actually does happen. The scene actually is in the film, so that's, you know, very unlike a lot of 80s horror films, especially from the 80s. You know, you remember back in the 80s when you look at you know, the artwork and you'd be like, okay, that's really fucking cool, and then it would just, that scene would never happen in the film. Well, this one actually does, surprisingly enough. So, but yeah, Suffer the Little Children, man. This is just so awesome. This film got a release, so I do recommend this for people that are hardcore shot on video fans. If you are not into shot on video, I would probably suggest skipping this one completely. But like I said, if you're into these type of films, definitely give this one a shot. It's kind of one of those holy grail films. I remember reading about this one years and years ago, and the VHSs, like the cut, I think they were even cut VHSs, were selling for like £400 or £500 in the UK, which is just mind-blowing to me that people were actually paying that for this. It's insane. $15 for the DVD years later. I'm happy with that kind of thing. Plus, it's, you know, it's the strong uncut version, which is cool. Intervision did a great job with this, man. There's actually an interview on here with Alan Briggs, which I want to check out eventually. You know, just kind of hear his story, because this one did suffer from a lot of problems, like a lot of films during the video nasty era. This one wasn't actually a video nasty because it just wasn't. It was, you know, it was done in '83, kind of not really past the video. It's still in that stage, but yeah, Suffer Children, man. I'm going to give this one about a 6.5 out of 10 on my shot on video scale. I think that 40 minutes in the middle really kind of hurts this film. I wish there was just a lot more of, you know, things that are happening. There's actually one thing in this film that I actually had to rewind, because I was like, did that just, okay. So there's a scene where Jenny and Mick are talking, and then all of a sudden it cuts to her talking to her boss about this incident that happened in a pool, but they don't show the incident. She's like now wrapped up in this towel, her hair's all wet, and it's, you know, she's talking about this incident that happened. I'm like, did I fucking miss something? Did it just skip over? But they just didn't show the scene. I was like, oh, that's so typical shot on video. But, you know, man, this movie, again, like all shot on video films, has its charm. You know, I can see where he was coming from this one, and it's, you know, it's ballsy to make a film like this at any time where kids are killing kids. So I give him props. 6.5 out of 10. Check this one out from Intervision. Support Severin. They always pull these things out from obscurity, which is totally awesome. Totally awesome stuff. So give that one a shot, man, if you're into that type of shit. So that's going to do it for Day 7, guys, here on the 31 Days of Horror Volume Tray. I will see you tomorrow with probably a newer film. If you guys haven't noticed the pattern that I have going, I kind of did this last year where I went old film, new film. Check you guys tomorrow.